Hey Nutrition Club members, your culinary nutritionist Michelle here. Today we're going to be preparing a couple of sweet and healthy recipes for this holiday season. A vegan sweet potato pie pudding and also an apple and pear crisp. Let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do to make our sweet potato pie pudding is we're going to prick our sweet potato in a couple of spots with a fork. And then we're going to place it in this glass baking dish and bake it until the sweet potato is fork tender. Now that our sweet potato has baked and cooled slightly, I've sliced it in half lengthwise, and I'm just going to remove the flesh of the sweet potato from the skin and place that right into my food processor. Next, I'm going to add my avocado. So I'm going to slice around the center of the avocado and twist to pull the halves apart. And to remove the pit, I like to bang my knife into it and give it a twist. Next, we're going to add in a 1/4 cup of sunflower seed butter. You could use almond butter or another nut or seed butter if you like. Also a teaspoon of pure vanilla extract, a couple teaspoons of pure maple syrup, and all of our spices. 1½ teaspoons of cinnamon, a teaspoon of ground nutmeg, a 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves, and a 1/4 teaspoon of fine sea salt. Then we'll pop the top on the food processor, lock it up, and turn it on. Processed it for about a minute, and now I am scraping down the sides to make sure everything gets mixed together. Now that we've processed the mixture for a couple minutes, it should be nice and smooth. You can enjoy your sweet potato pie pudding just as it is, nice and warm from the mixer, or you can divide it into serving bowls and refrigerate it for a couple of hours so that it thickens and increases in richness, and enjoy it then. To make our apple and pear crisp, we're going to start by slicing our apples. And I'm going to leave the skin on my apples and pears for a little extra fiber. Start by cutting the cheeks off my apples. Then I'm going to lay them cut side down and just do some nice thin slices. If you'd like your pieces to be smaller, you can cut them whichever way you like. Just make sure that they're all cut in a uniform manner. Once the slices are made, I'm gonna pop them into my bowl over here. I'm gonna do 2 apples and 2 pears in total, medium-sized apples and pears. Now that my apples and pears are sliced, I'm going to season them with some cinnamon and ginger, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, a quarter teaspoon of ginger, a teaspoon of fresh squeezed lemon juice, and just a pinch of sea salt. Now to prepare my topping for the crisp, I'm going to mix together 1 cup of rolled oats, which will give us some nice, heart healthy, soluble fiber. Again, a half a teaspoon of cinnamon and a quarter teaspoon of ground ginger. For a touch of sweetness, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of honey. The rest of the sweetness comes from the sweet fruit itself. And then as our fat, we're gonna add some melted coconut oil, a couple tablespoons of that. And then we'll stir that all together, and this will become the crumble that goes on top of our fruit. Fruit slices in this glass baking dish. I've chosen this one because it has a cover, and we want our crisp to bake covered for the first part of the baking process. So now that the fruit is in here, I'm going to arrange the topping on top, just spreading it evenly over the fruit. Clean hands are my best tools here. You could also use the side of your spatula if you prefer. And I'm gonna cover this up, and we're gonna bake it at 350. To start out, we'll do 20 minutes covered, and then remove it and bake it an additional 10 to 20 minutes. My crisp has been in the oven for about 20 minutes, so now I'm going to remove the lid and then let it cook for another 10 to 20 minutes uncovered. After another 20 minutes in the oven, our crisp is nice and golden and the apples and pears are cooked through, so I'm going to pull it out.